Alright, so now what we're going to do is make a spectral map and a normal map for this. Okay. To do so, I first need to take and turn off all layers that have shadows. Okay, you don't want any shadows whatsoever. And we'll make the spectral map first. To do so, I go Edit, Copy Merged, Edit, Paste. Okay, I'm just going to turn this into a black and white. Hit OK. And then I'm going to go Image Adjustments, Exposure, and I'm going to adjust the exposure so it's down quite a bit, leaving only the paint and this thing right here to be the shiniest surface. Okay, so a spectral map works like this. Black levels do not get any kind of shine. Gray levels get mid shine. White levels are like mirror shine. Okay, so I'm going to save this as, and we're going to save it within the directory. It's going to be a TIFF. It's going to be called Spec. Okay, no layers, and hit save. Okay, so let's turn this one off, and let's do that again. This time, Edit, Copy Merged, Edit, Paste, and we're going to save this as something. It's going to be a normal map later on. I'm going to show you how to open that up in GIMP and make a normal map out of it. So here, I need this to be called NM. Okay, no layers. Save. Okay, GIMP. Amazing program. You can download it for both Mac and PC. And if you need to know how to install it on a PC, you're looking at 0402 installing GIMP. Okay. Incidentally, we are up here. So if you need to skip ahead just a little bit, just to get the idea of how to install it on a PC, you can. Alright, so back to GIMP. Let's open up the one that's called NM. And we're going to go Filters, Map, Normal Map. We're going to use a scale of 2 and hit OK. Okay, and there we go. Now this doesn't look like much. In fact, when I zoom in here, let's make sure that actually worked. Let's navigation window. And you can see right here, this thing looks like it's embedded in. I don't want that. I want it to be popped out. So let me undo this and show you why that worked, or why that did that. So filter, map, normal map. This time invert your Y channel. So if that ever happens to you, that's why. So now it looks more like a label or a sticker sitting on top. Okay, and that's what I want. All right, what we're going to do is save as. We're going to save this as oil barrel normal map and replace it. Okay, so now let me show you what you do with these new maps that we just created, your spectral and your normal. And later on we get into much more detail about normal maps as far as producing them with high fidelity and low fidelity. Okay, here's my two maps. I'm going to make sure that this is the oil barrel directory. Okay. And in Maya, I'm just going to click and drag those in. Now, sometimes this can get hard with GIMP. GIMP kind of wants to be in the foreground of everything. So you have to kind of close out a few things. Okay, there's our two new maps. Again, if you want a real-time preview, you just click and drag or click on this. This material is a Lambert. Well, now we can use a blend. You can use a blend all the time. The fact is, though, barrels aren't shiny. See, now I got this huge, super shiny barrel. I would say only certain areas would be shiny on it, if any. So this one right here, middle mouse button, click and drag to the ball, allows you to go to specular color. Now you can see that not everything's shiny, just certain areas. To really see this, you got to almost render it or put it in high quality rendering mode and then put a light in the scene. Okay, so let's put a light here. And hit 7 on the keyboard. Okay, so now when I pass over this, you can see that it's shiny in certain areas, but not all areas. Okay. Cool. Okay, now let's attach the normal map and find out what that does. So, middle mouse button, click and drag this to the sphere and go to bump map. Then click on the bump map and you have to turn it to tangent space normals. Okay. All right. So there we go. We now have this fantastical barrel that has a little bit of bump to it. You can see it how it's grazed onto the surface to make this look like a decal sitting on top. You can also see that the pits in the rust are kind of standing out a little bit more. And areas that do not have pitted rust are flat. It's very slight, and it should always be very slight. You should never have a normal map that just goes all out, whacked out crazy on something like this. You also notice that the light kind of changed on the surface. So now lights are really dark. This is because it's self-shadowing on angles. Again, I'll get into this a little bit later. You can see here I added a little bit more pitted rust in this area. Because you can think about that as maybe a different kind of metal, but that really looks pitted now. So the higher the contrast value, the more pits you're going to get in your metal. All right. So now you have a barrel. Even on areas like this, it looks like it's really raised up. Nice. Again, that only shows up in high quality rendering, and it really does a nice job when you turn on the lights. Here, no lights. You can still see the pitted rust up against the paint. It looks pretty nice. And that's the end of the story with the barrel. We can now add this later on to our city scene that we're doing. Okay. Now, to present the barrel, I do have something in the database or discussion board on how to do this. But again, you should always have a screenshot next to the actual UV structure and then present your textures too. So I'll put kind of a sample of that within the lesson files on how to present that. But in most cases, if you're having an in-house class with me, I'm going to be asking for the actual project. So here, I want you to optimize scene size and hit OK. That'll get rid of any useless nodes in my hypershade. You can see in my hypershade now, I only have this one, and this one. I used to have like 3 others in here. All right. Save the scene, and you would upload that actual folder as first name, last name, the folder structure. Okay, that's only if you're having an in-house class. If you're taking a class online, I want you to present it this way with a screenshot. All right, enjoy, and on to the next chapter.